Hello, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with Immigration Attorney Brian D. Lerner. In this particular episode, I'd like to talk a little bit about the law of what happens when someone comes into the United States in order to try to claim asylum. Now, Trump has made all kinds of political statements and has tried to make this caravan, which is carrying 130 people up from Central America, the absolute focus of why the wall needs to be built, why there's tons of illegal immigration, and how they all need to be stopped. However, the reality is his statements do not take into effect the immigration law, which is on the books, which is codified, and which there are statutes to protect people which are fleeing their home country to come here for asylum. Now, let me tell you the procedure so it's a little bit clear what happens. These 130 people that are coming up in the caravan to the United States, they don't just walk over into the United States, say, okay, I want asylum, and then 3 days later they have their green cards. It doesn't work like that. In order to claim asylum, first, when they come to the United States, they will understand that they're going to be put in detention. When they are put in detention, at some later point, they will then have an interview with an asylum officer. The asylum officer will not grant or deny the asylum. No, the asylum officer will determine whether there is a credible fear of persecution and whether it's based on the 5 different grounds, any one of them, or more than one of the grounds for asylum. So if after the interview, the asylum officer believes that in fact there is a credible fear of persecution, then the case will be transferred to immigration court for full-blown asylum hearings in front of the immigration judge. Now, at that point, this person will still be in detention. Now, it is possible for us to make motions to allow them to be paroled into the United States and other various matters in which they can be released so that they can fight their case while not being detained. However, if they are going to be detained and they're going to fight their case in detention, then that's how it'll have to go. It'll go under somewhat of an expedited track where within 3 to 6 months, they'll have the different hearings and ultimately the trial on trying to prove that they should get asylum. Now, let's just say track 1, they don't get a bond, they're not paroled, and therefore they have to fight their case in detention. So, the asylum package is prepared with the declarations, the exhibits, the evidence, everything necessary. Ultimately, when the judge decides, if the judge grants the asylum, then of course they'll be released, and then within 1 year they can actually apply for the green card. But during the 1 year, they'll be able to legally stay here and get work authorization pending application of the green card. Now, if the judge denies the asylum and they are in detention, then they have the opportunity to appeal the case while in detention to the Board of Immigration Appeals. That also will go under somewhat of an expedited track in the Board of Immigration Appeals. And the Board of Immigration Appeals can do 3 things. They can approve what the immigration court did. They can completely reverse what the immigration court did, or they can say some issues are unresolved and send it back down to the immigration court to re-adjudicate whatever issue it is the BIA has decided. Now, track 2, if the person is not in detention and the asylum is granted, same thing. Of course, they'll get authorization to stay here, a work permit. Their family can actually come here on derivative asylee uh, uh, status, and then within a year they can apply for the green card. But if it's denied and they were paroled or bonded out, they also can apply for the BIA appeal, Board of Immigration Appeals, and it will not go under an expedited track. It will go under the regular track, at which point the same thing will happen just later, whether it's approved, denied, or remanded. Now, just so you're aware, after it goes to the BIA, if that is denied, they have the option to do a petition for review to the Circuit Court of Appeals in whatever jurisdiction that they are in. They can also do a motion to stay the deportation and or a motion to extend the voluntary departure. I'm giving you lots of information here, but the reason for that is to show that there's a legal process when people come to the United States illegally in order to apply for asylum if that's why they're coming. With the statements that Trump made, it would seem that hundreds of thousands and millions of people are just flowing in the United States from Central America, and they're able to stay here, and that's just not the case. If these 130 people, I mean, just think about it. If these 130 people have spent the last, 3 weeks going in a caravan through Mexico to get to the United States with the knowledge that they're going to be put in detention, okay, that's basically prison, in detention for the duration, sometimes months, in order to not have to go back. Who would do that unless they, really feared going back to their home country and perhaps had a valid case for asylum? If these people don't have a valid case for asylum, or some of them do, some of them don't, then what happens is the judge will issue a removal order or voluntary departure order, and they will be sent back to their home country. They are not guaranteed to get the green card. They are not guaranteed to be able to stay here forever. What they are guaranteed and should be guaranteed is the right to apply for asylum if they qualify and if they are being persecuted in their home country. That is a whole area of immigration law. And if the United States did not want or did not allow the ability for people being persecuted in their home countries to come to the United States in order to apply for asylum, then they should revoke all the asylum laws. They should not let people come into the United States if they have a valid asylum claim, and they should just close the doors to everybody. Unfortunately, or fortunately for them, that's not the case. Even though Trump is using the Caravan as a political vehicle to stop any illegal immigration. It would take an act of Congress to overturn, revoke, or amend the asylum laws as they exist today. And the reason the United States has these laws is because we, as a country, want people who are being persecuted in their home country to have a safe haven to come to escape the persecution that they are receiving and that they are experiencing. If they win, great, they get the green card, but if they don't, then they get returned back. That's asylum law. And the cold reality is that many more asylum cases are denied than approved. That's the reality. Okay, so it's not an easy form of relief to get, and one needs to prove a significant amount in which to win asylum. So anyways, there's the caption, the nutshell of what really happens when these people come in a caravan to the United States and what they are really trying to seek. Okay, if you like the video, click like, subscribe, and also feel free to call my office to get a consultation. Okay, more on the coming videos.